Let me ask you something that nobody in the tech industry really wants you to think about too hard. How much money did your PC cost you last month? Not the purchase price. Not the electricity bill. I am talking about the invisible tax that most PC owners pay every single month without ever seeing an invoice or getting a notification about it. I am talking about the money you lose because your PC is running slower than it should, eating more electricity than it needs to, making you less productive than you could be, and quietly draining your wallet through habits and settings that are completely fixable for free. I have been tracking this for the past several months and the numbers are genuinely surprising. Most PC users in the United States are losing between $40 and over $100 every single month because of problems they have no idea they have. Let me show you exactly what those problems are and how to fix every single one of them today. The first way your PC is costing you money is so obvious that most people completely miss it, and that is electricity. The average desktop PC in the United States left running 24 hours a day 7 days a week costs between $8 and $15 per month in electricity depending on your local utility rates. A gaming PC with a high-end GPU can push that number to $30 or more. Most people leave their PCs on because they assume it is fine or because they do not want to wait for it to boot up. But here is what almost nobody knows: modern PCs with SSDs boot from a completely powered-off state in under 15 seconds. There is genuinely no reason to leave your PC running around the clock, and if you switch from leaving it on all the time to using sleep mode properly and shutting it down overnight, the average household can save between $6 and $12 per month without doing anything else at all. Over a year, that is between $70 and $140 back in your pocket for doing almost nothing. The second money drain is one that affects every single person watching this video who has a PC older than 3 years, and it is something that the hardware industry has a financial interest in not telling you about loudly. Your PC is almost certainly running significantly slower than it did when you bought it, and for most people the reason is not that the hardware has degraded. It is that the software environment has accumulated 3 years of junk, background processes, startup programs, fragmented files, bloated browser extensions, and registry clutter that is stealing your CPU, your RAM, and your storage speed every single minute you use the machine. A PC that runs slow costs you money in the most direct way possible: time. If your computer wastes 10 minutes of your day being slow, and your time is worth even $10 an hour, that is $1.60 per day you are losing. Over a month, that is $50. Over a year, that approaches $600 in lost productive time. And the fix is free. The third invisible cost is your internet connection, and specifically how badly most PC setups are configured to use it. The average American household pays $70 to $100 per month for broadband internet, and a significant proportion of that money is being wasted because the PC that accesses it is not configured properly to get the performance the plan is supposed to deliver. Background Windows Update downloads running while you work, OneDrive and Google Drive syncing large files during peak hours, Chrome preloading pages you never visit, and Windows telemetry sending data to Microsoft servers are all consuming your bandwidth without your permission or awareness. Most households with multiple streaming devices and PCs experience internet slowdowns during evenings that they attribute to their internet service provider, but in reality, their own PC is consuming a significant portion of the connection with tasks that could be scheduled for the middle of the night instead. Properly scheduling background updates and sync tasks to run between 2 and 5 in the morning costs nothing and improves your internet experience every waking hour. The fourth cost is the one that surprises people the most when they actually calculate it, and that is the money lost to poor storage habits. The average PC user in the United States has somewhere between 200 and 800 gigabytes of data they could easily move to free cloud storage tiers or an inexpensive external drive, but instead they keep it on their main system drive, which causes the drive to perform slower as it fills up, which costs them time and eventually money when the drive fails and takes unbackupped files with it. A solid-state drive running at over 80% capacity performs measurably slower than the same drive running at under 60% capacity. That performance difference is real and affects everything you do on the machine. But the bigger financial risk is data loss. 43% of people who experience a hard drive failure had no backup of their important files. Recovering data from a failed drive through professional data recovery services costs between $300 and $1,500 depending on the severity of the failure. A $10 per year cloud backup subscription eliminates that risk entirely. The fifth money drain is subscription. Software that you are paying for but no longer using, and this one hits differently because it is actual cash leaving your bank account every month rather than indirect losses through time or electricity. The average American PC user has between 4 and 7 recurring software subscriptions running in the background of their digital life, and industry surveys consistently show that people underestimate their total subscription spend by an average of 40% when asked to guess it without looking. Adobe Creative Cloud at $55 per month. Microsoft 365 at $10 per month. Antivirus software at $30 to $40 per year that Windows Defender now largely renders unnecessary for most users. VPN services that have been running on auto-renew for 2 years without being actively used. A photo editing app downloaded during a free trial that converted to paid without a prominent notification. Added together, the average person has between $20 and $60 per month in software subscriptions running on their PC that they either forgot about, no longer use, or could replace with free alternatives that are just as good. The sixth cost affects gamers specifically, but it is significant enough to address directly. The way most PC gamers manage their game library is quietly costing them money through a combination of hard drive degradation, electricity waste, and missed sales. Most PC gamers have between 20 and 60 games installed that they have not touched in over 6 months, all of which are consuming fast SSD storage that could be used by things they actually play, potentially slowing the drive down, and in some cases still running background processes even when not actively launched. Steam and other platforms run background services for installed games even when those games are not being played. Uninstalling games you genuinely will not play again, archiving others to a slower secondary drive, and actively managing which games occupy your primary fast SSD is a practice that improves real-time performance for the games you do play and extends the life of your primary drive. None of this costs money to implement. It costs 15 minutes of time. The seventh money drain is monitor brightness, and this one is almost funny in how small it seems versus how consistent the savings are. Most PC monitors are set by default to their maximum brightness setting, which is typically between 250 and 400 nits. That is significantly brighter than most indoor environments require, particularly in the evening. Running your monitor at maximum brightness versus 60 to 70% brightness consumes meaningfully more electricity over the course of a year, and numerous ophthalmologist studies have linked excessive screen brightness during evening hours to disrupted sleep quality, which has its own productivity and health costs that are harder to quantify but are very real. Dropping your monitor brightness to a comfortable level for your specific room lighting conditions costs nothing and saves a measurable amount of electricity, and in the evening specifically it can improve your sleep quality in ways that make your following day noticeably more productive. The eighth cost is the one that most people in the tech community genuinely do not want to talk about because it implicates a lot of expensive purchases that people feel proud of, and that is overspecification. A significant proportion of PC users have hardware that is dramatically more powerful than what they actually use it for, and that mismatch costs them money in 3 ways. First, more powerful hardware consumes more electricity at idle and under load. Second, more powerful hardware costs more to purchase than what they needed, which is money that could have been spent more wisely. Third, more powerful hardware often has fan noise and thermal output that makes the environment where it is used less pleasant, which is a quality of life cost that is hard to put a number on but is real. If you have a $4,000 gaming PC that you use primarily for web browsing, productivity software, and occasional gaming at 1080p medium settings, a machine costing a quarter of that would have served your actual use case identically. The money difference represents a genuine financial loss that no benchmark score can make up for. The ninth cost is one that became significantly more expensive in 2026 specifically, and that is delaying necessary hardware maintenance or replacement decisions past the point where they are economically rational. The memory shortage that has been driving RAM and SSD prices up throughout 2026 means that components that needed to be replaced 6 months ago now cost meaningfully more to replace today, and the components you need in the next 6 months will likely cost more still if industry analysis pointing to shortages continuing through 2027 proves accurate. A RAM upgrade that would have cost $60 18 months ago now costs $80 to $100. A 2 TB SSD that was $40 at the price floor is now $60 to $70. Continuing to struggle with an underperforming system because you are waiting for prices to come down is a rational-sounding strategy that the available market data suggests is likely to cost more money, not less, over the next 12 months. The 10th and final money drain is the most personal and the most important, because it is the one that determines whether any of what I have said in this video actually translates into real money saved or whether you watch it and then close the tab and go on exactly as before. That cost is the gap between what you know you should do and what you actually do with your technology. Every one of the 9 costs I described has a free or very low-cost solution available right now. Adjusting your power settings. Cleaning up startup programs. Scheduling background tasks for overnight. Auditing your subscriptions. Managing your storage. Adjusting your monitor brightness. None of these things require spending money. They require 15 to 30 minutes of your time and the habit of applying the knowledge you now have. The PC that is making you lose money every month is not broken. It is just poorly configured, and that is something you can fix today. The total monthly cost of all 10 of these problems, if every single one applies to you at the numbers I described, runs from $40 at the conservative end to well over $150 per month for a heavy user with multiple subscriptions, a gaming PC, and poor power management habits. That is between $500 and $1,800 per year that most PC users are quietly losing to problems that are entirely within their control to fix. The hardware companies and the software companies that benefit from your confusion and inattention have very little incentive to walk you through this list. That is exactly why nobody sent you a notification about it and exactly why videos like this one exist. Share this with someone who you know has been complaining about their PC being slow or their electricity bill being too high. The fix might be simpler than either of you think.